Hi, writers. Welcome. Last night I sat down to work on the letter that I wrote yesterday, the one about students showing up for their meetings. And I wanted to fix it up. I wanted to make it the best letter in the world. And I mean, if I want to fix this problem, the letter has got to be really, really great. So I sat down at my kitchen table, I got my revision pen, and I started wondering, what should I do to make this letter better? What can I do to make it the best it can be? And I started thinking when we wanted to make our stories better, something we did was we looked at real published stories. And remember, like Creek said the bed, and we looked at what authors were doing and we got ideas from them. Well, to make a letter as good as it can be, it's probably going to help us to look at a really good letter. And then we can ask ourselves, what did the author of this letter do really, really well? The good news is that I've been given a copy of a letter that a child just a little bit older than you wrote to her principal. And you know what? The principal saved the little girl's letter for years and years in a special drawer of her desk. The fact that she saved it is a good sign that she thought it was a special letter. So let's take a look at it and see if we can learn how to write letters that are so special someone might want to save our letters. So I want you to know today, I'm not teaching you something. I'm just like you. I want to investigate like a detective or a scientist, and I want to answer the question, what does Lily do in this letter that makes it a special one? What makes it a convincing letter? And then we'll be able to ask, how can we do this in our own letters too? So let me make it a little bit bigger for you. And it's a long one, but we'll take a look at it together. Dear Melanie, did you know that kids are being too noisy on the stairs? It's a big problem. Some kids talk with inside voices. Other kids talk really loud. It's a problem because one day Felix was right next to me and he was yelling very loud, and when Miss Liz said a quiet signal, I could not hear her. And I was not looking at her. It is bad. Maybe we can remind the kids to not yell by putting a sign on the wall on every staircase. It would be good for a lot of the first grade classes, so when the teachers do a quiet signal, they can hear the teacher so they can talk. Thank you, from Lily. Okay, so the first thing we've got to do now is take another look at this, and let me make it a little smaller so we can see the whole thing all at once. I hope you can still see it, and I'm sure you can. You can see almost all of it. And we've got to ask ourselves, why did the principal keep this letter for so many years? What makes it so amazing? So let's take a look at some of the things Melanie did, okay? Right from the very, very beginning. Let me put it. It says, did you know that kids are being too noisy on the stairs? It's a big problem. She gave her opinion. So I was thinking maybe we could come up with a list of things from here, and we'll put a list together of things we could do. We could give our opinion and say what we think by saying, like, I think. And you'll notice she said, it's a big problem. She's giving her opinion right from the very beginning. Okay? And she even told a little story. I'm going to highlight the little story in red. She told us a story that gives an example. It says, one day, Felix was right next to me, and he was yelling very loud. This little story she's telling gives the person who's reading it a chance to see that, oh my gosh, this is a problem, and it's something that actually happens. And I also want you to notice she used the word because at the beginning. She said, it's a problem because, and she didn't just tell her stories. She gave lots and lots and lots of reasons. And you know what else she did? She even gave fix-it ideas, like ways that she could make the problem go away. So in yellow, I underlined here, we can remind the kids to not yell by putting a sign on the wall on every staircase. So that is a fix-it idea, something that the principal can do to fix the problem. That's something you could totally do in your letters. And I'm wondering, did anybody notice the way Lily ended this letter? Take a look. Let's go down to the bottom and look at the end. I'm going to highlight in a big green box those special words at the end that say, "Thank you from Lily." So, Lily, she has this big problem and she's sharing it with the principal, but she's not mad. She's being kind and polite. And when you want to do something or make a change, and you talk to people who are in charge or people who can help you make a difference, maybe the people you write your letter for, it's really important that you're polite with them because nobody wants to do anything for someone who's mean or rude. So you want to make sure to be polite. So I made a little chart for us to look at, and it looks like this. And it says, we can be really convincing, and these are the things we could do. Tell your opinion. You could use the words, "I think," or we could tell a little story, just like Lily did in hers. Maybe you have a story about your problem. We can give lots of reasons. We can give fix-it ideas. Remember, Lily wanted to make signs to put by the staircases. What are your fix-it reasons that are going to help your problem? And the very last one is to be polite. So this list is getting kind of long. So I'm going to stop it at those things because those are things you can actually do to make your letters better. Okay, so would you be willing to figure out if you can use Lily's ideas to make your letters really great? And today you are going to do a little writing. You're going to get out some writing paper and you can work on the same letter you were working on yesterday. You could start a new letter today. It's totally up to you. But when you work on your writing, I want you to think, which of these things that Lily did can I do in my letter? So are you going to tell your opinion? Are you going to tell a little story this time? Are you going to give lots of reasons? Are you going to give it a fix-it idea, or are you going to be polite? Maybe you'll do all of these things. Mrs. Kaplan and I want you to do at least two of them. And you don't have to take a picture of your writing today. We want you to work on a letter, but when you're all done and you tap the green add response button on Seesaw, you'll see this same chart, the same chart you're looking at right here. And all you have to do is circle which things you did in your letter to be really convincing. And then maybe tomorrow you'll post your letter and you'll show us what you did. But today, all you have to do is tell us which things did you do to be really convincing. So think, am I going to work on an old letter or am I going to start a new letter today? And which of these things can I do in my letter? Think about it. And when you're ready, you can go get started. Off you go, writers.